All right, Christina Tobin is here in Studio 2. She is running for Secretary of State in California under the Libertarian Party banner. This is a really important interview because this is the first time that a third-party candidate has been mentioned by the Pew Center. She's also been endorsed by the co-founder of the Green Party, Annie Gokey, and she's also been endorsed by the vice chair of the Libertarian National Committee, Mike Jingosian, and she is also the president and founder of the Free and Equal Elections Foundation. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Well, thanks for having me again, Gary. Lovely being here.
It's great to have you back. You know, last time we were here, we spoke to you about your foundation, the Free and Equal Elections Foundation. Now, and in fact, you actually announced your run for Secretary of State here on this show. And now you're back to give us an update. So let's talk about Free and Equal. Tell us what's going on since we spoke to you last.
Free and equal elections is exploding around the country. We're focusing on electoral reform. We held a debate at University of Chicago about a month or two ago. It was successful. We had 7 candidates across the spectrum participate, from Green Party to Constitution, Republican, Democrat, and so on. We also are focusing on bills. A big one is HB 1072 in Oklahoma, a bill to reduce the signature requirement for third parties and independents to get on the ballot from 72,000 to 5,000 signatures. So that's something Free and Equal is doing. We're also working with the ACLU out in North Carolina. Our executive director, Sean Haw, is the plaintiff in the case out there and helping out with the brief. Filing suits in Louisiana, more debates maybe in California, also in Chicago again. So what we do is we focus on electoral reform nationwide. We lobby, do debates, and we are here to break the system. We are the real deal.
So let's talk about the race. You know, we mentioned that this is an important race. Historical, you know, the Pew Foundation has now mentioned it. But it's becoming nationally recognized. Tell us why this is significant in that regard. Yeah,
as you said, the Pew Center, it's Election Online. It has never ever covered a third party or independent race, so that in itself is just a big deal. Richard Winger, my campaign manager of Ballot Access News, agrees. We do foresee this becoming a nationally recognized race. The reason why I left Chicago, my entire home, everything I've known, to move to California last year to run for California Secretary of State is the #1 reason to stop the top 2 primary. It's an initiative in California, yes, for the time being, but if it passes, it will impact the world nationwide. What it is only the top 2 vote getters in the primary advance to the general election. This is Louisiana-style politics. Washington State passed it in 2008. Louisiana's had it from 78 to 2008, of which no independent or no incumbent except for one was knocked out of office. Since it was dropped in 2008, 5 incumbents have been knocked out of office. So it's a horrible thing, and the reason why it came of existence is because of a Maldonado Arnold Schwarzenegger backroom budget deal that was cut last year, and in return, Schwarzenegger, that is, agreed to put the top 2 primary on the ballot.
So let's talk about this. You mentioned top 2 primary. You know, for grassroots candidates who are running, you know, either as independents or as a third party, why is the top 2 important?
Well, if you have an individual, let's say Ron Paul, Ralph Nader, independent, they both have movements. Ron Paul may be running as a GOP in 2012. Top 2 primary passes, let's say if he just doesn't happen to get the GOP primary, if he wants to run third party or independent, that will not happen. If top 2 primary passes in California, it's already passed in Washington, or passing in Washington State, 2008 it passed. It would spiral across the nation. Ralph Nader, opposite end of the spectrum. He's got a single payer, a doctor's movement, completely opposite from Ron Paul. But Ralph Nader himself is against the top 2 primary. So this would put an end to all the movements out there, all the grassroots organizations that are anti-establishment, anti of the 2-party tyranny.
So basically, the people should be against 2 top two primary because it's going to squelch the independent voices.
Not only third parties, independents disenfranchise Republicans and Democrats. In Illinois, Free and Equal, we've helped the C4, that is our petitioning company, a different entity, has helped over 15 candidates across the spectrum get on the ballot. From Greens to disenfranchise Republicans to Democrats. The system has even turned against Democrats and Republicans, of course, that are not endorsed by their party. They've wrongfully knocked them off the ballot. They've used the ballot access laws to keep choice off the ballot, and the top two primary is it's a predator, is what it is.
Now let's talk about you've got a website. It is Tobin4ca.org. There's a big map on that website. From what I understand, you're developing a social network that's going to bring together candidates from all across the spectrum, all parties. Everyone's invited. So my question is, do you have connections within the Tea Party movement, Tea Party candidates? Will we see some of those people on your website?
Of course, we invite everybody from Tea Parties across the political spectrum. For those of you who don't know, Free and Equal crossed over and helped organize with Free Tea Party a Tea Party last July 4th in Chicago. We had Free Tea Party Chad Peace, the Free Tea Party, contacted Free and Equal, freeandequal.org, and he had found that the Tea Party, in fact, was taken over by the Newt Gingrich movement. That's Tax Day Tea Party. The coordinator at that time, named Eric Odom, informed Chad Peace that, well, wouldn't you do it for a million names? Sell out a movement? Not cool. He found us, Free and Equal. We held it in Chicago. We were able to manipulate Tea Party, that is in Chad Peace, the search engine so well that when somebody Googled Independence Day, Tea Party came above the Tax Day Tea Party, therefore halting the entire Newt Gingrich movement, which hasn't been able to recover since then. So we did accomplish a lot.
So let's jump back over to your campaign, and I'm going to ask a tough question because anyone who's going to run for office, you have to ask the question: do you believe that you can win this election?
That's a good question. When I first decided to run last September, October, no. I never thought to win Secretary of State. I'm running as a Libertarian. Would have ran Independent. Takes 172,000 signatures. Libertarian 150. That has changed. Since then, we have launched a mainstream website, Tobin, FORCA.org. We will also be taping with RX. If you take a look at RX on YouTube, under Bloody Sunday, almost 2 million hits. Mike Gravel's Power to the People. We're going to be implementing that into the website. We will also have a top 10 internet marketing agency named Angel Vision Tech, of which the vice chair of the LNC, Michael Jangosian, runs that company, marketing across the U.S. So between those components and the Pew Center, that's becoming a nationally recognized race, attracting people from around the U.S., we do anticipate a lot more endorsements in the future. It actually could happen. It's
well,
amazing.
Let me ask you this. From marketing aside, those are important things. I know about the alternative media, and how important it is to get the message out. But what about the grassroots support on the ground? What kind of reaction are you getting from the people in California?
Grassroots is so important. For those of you who don't know already, of course, through Free and Equal, I do travel nationwide. That is my full-time job. I'll be traveling out to D.C. in April to hold an electoral reform forum. Traveling statewide for HB 1072 for a fundraiser to reduce signature requirements. My full-time job. But in any case, I will be spending a significant amount of time campaigning throughout the state of California with my campaign manager, Richard Winger of Ballot Access News. We will go and meet the press. We held a press conference about a week ago, which I held the press conference in front of the Secretary of State's office. In any case, we met with the LA Times, the Sacramento Bee, all the different press, getting familiar with them, and we anticipate doing that throughout the entire state of California.
All right, Christina, we wish you the best of luck in your campaign and with your future endeavors with the Free and Equal Elections Foundation, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me again.